I have to ask, how is it this song only has 20,000 views? How is it that I have more subscribers than this band? And how is it that I will be joining this band by the end of this review? Let's find out. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where today I want to talk to you about the band GAMBIT with a song which the name basically translates to infatuation, a curious name for a song that really has got me quite infatuated. I'm quite blown away by this song, but I'm going to be discussing both why it is really great and why I suspect more could be done to push this song further and to really get it to a slightly higher place. But first of all, let's talk about what this song is. Let's moreover talk about what's going for it, because there is a lot going for this band and a lot going for this song. Now, usually we would talk about the song structure first, but here I actually want to talk about the band first, because obviously this is our first time reviewing them and they appear to be quite new. Once again, I can't believe they've got less subscribers than I have, but let's just break this down. First of all, three-piece female band playing what appears to be kind of rock music, very catchy music, but we'll get into that in a minute. And the other thing that's really going for them as well is, I know this sounds shallow and I'm not trying to be creepy here, but they are three extremely good-looking women. I think that's a fairly objectively agreeable thing that I'm saying there. So they got the image right. It kind of reminded me of the whole Silent Siren thing, where I remember when I first saw a picture of Silent Siren, I was like, is this it's suspiciously good looking. Then I found out all four of them were actually models beforehand. I was like, kind of makes sense. I don't know what these guys' excuses are, but they really have the look, and they seem to be very talented musicians who also are just throwing in choreography in the middle of their music video, which is very cool. So they clearly have the sort of pop dance vibe going on. They have the musical ability to play instruments. There is great musical sound performance. They have the look. This is a band who, the reason I can't believe they only got 20,000 views on this video is because the minute you look at it, and when you listen to, I should point out, the sound production and everything is very professionally done as well, it blows you away because you feel like you're listening and looking at something that is at number one. You're assuming this must be, this has got to be charting, I must have just missed this. And then you look down at the numbers and you're like, how is that possible? So to flesh that out slightly, let's talk a bit more about this song, because as I say, it's not just the band who make it seem like it deserves to be much more famous. Now, the song we're looking at here, to me, has all the hallmarks of being a really great single. First things first, it is a sort of fairly straight-shooting pop rock song. You have the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, contemporary arrangement that we're so used to for so many songs. But what really helps this is the fact that it's kind of got a soulful vibe. The singer does have quite a nice sort of vocal register. It's not too high. It's kind of got a little bit of soul to it, but at the same time, it's kind of light and fluid. You feel like she's almost talking to you and singing at the same time. It's very personal sounding. The song as a general is quite chilled out, but it also has a lot of sort of nice little intricacies in the rhythm and various things like that, all helped by a production that sounds quite nice and creamy. It's kind of both smooth and poppy at the same time, and this is really aided by a lot of keyboard work. Now, the keyboard work is interesting because I can't see any member of this band playing keyboards. They're a three-piece. And as I've often said about the three-piece arrangement thing, there's two ways of approaching that. Some three-pieces just like to be a three-piece and sound like a three-piece. Some like to say, well, look, we're a three-piece, which almost innately suggests that we should be using other musicians to fill out our sound occasionally. It's almost like a blank slate for saying, of course, three pieces by their definition are small so that they can bring in other sounds. But it is kind of interesting because I just kind of expected this band to have keyboard player because the keyboards are so prominent in a lot of it. And that is entirely possible considering how virtually everyone in Japan, especially women, learns the keyboard or some instrument from a young age, that probably one of these members also probably did play the keyboard lines. But it would be interesting if they had a member to play the keyboards, which is instantly where I'm going to put myself forwards and just say, hey, well, look, I have somehow got more subscribers than you. I play the keyboard. Let me join your band. You can have some of my subscribers. Just let me know you want to join the band. That's the deal. I will be your new keyboard player. I'll learn the lines, I'll play them. Then you don't have to worry about it. You go on stage, you can play the whole song properly. No backing tracks. I'll save you money on backing tracks. Anyway, one of the things that really pushes this song above and beyond, though, in that kind of chartable quality, sounds like such a cheap thing to say, but you know what I mean, is the fact that it has a very catchy chorus. You know, a chorus doesn't always assure you a hit single. I mean, I've said this before, and you've probably heard it before. You'll have an artist who no one's heard of, will have a song where you just think, wow, this is super catchy, how's everyone not listening to this? And a lot of it is down to marketing. You know, if you have people pushing your song so that everyone can hear it, then a good chorus is going to make you an earworm. But you can have the catchiest song ever, and if no one's hearing it, or if it's not being put out there, or if you don't have an agency to get it onto, well, I would say the radio, but it's a bit old-fashioned, then it's not going to really, you know, it's not going to secure you the hit single that your friends might tell you it should. So for me, this again feels like it's something that, if it was being represented by the right people, if they had a big agency, if they had a big record company, I would imagine this being able to really be a big hit. So I have a lot of respect for the fact they've managed to deliver a song that already feels like it could be that. You know, it's catchy, it's got something interesting sonically going on. The keyboard sounds are quite different. I like the electric organ use in there that makes it sound a little bit sort of different from, it gives it that soulful vibe back, makes it sound a little bit different from a lot of contemporary bands who are perhaps in the same space as them. I also really appreciate the fact that the singer is singing, you know, with a really sort of, you know, from the diaphragm, you're singing with her full voice, when, again, as I've pointed out, there's this recent trend of singers who sing very much from the lungs like this, trying to sound emotional. She's singing emotionally because she's singing with less power, but kind of soulfully from the diaphragm. There's a feeling that you can actually hear her whole voice. It's that ability to project properly. So much about this song is just really likable and really just something where I want to hear more. I hear it and it just makes me want to hear more. It gets stuck in my head. It makes me think, yes, this should definitely be something that a lot more people are listening to. They've got the image, which, you know, let's face it, it is important. They look good. They have a quality of presentation with their music. It's beautifully recorded. It has an interesting use of sounds in there. They're already, as a free piece, thinking about having extra sounds in there, using these keyboard sounds that have given this song so much extra life and will eventually give me a job. They also have produced a song that is well performed. Just, for me, this feels like something that is so head and shoulders above where the numbers I'm looking at right now, 782 subscribers and 20,000 views. It's so far above where those numbers suggest. No, is it like going to be the best thing ever? No, it's not the catchiest song. It's not the greatest performance. It's not the greatest video or the greatest anything, but it is so far above where you'd expect and such a brilliant starting point. I mean, you've got bands who take years to get to the point of making a song that just sounds this good. So yeah, I maybe it sounds like I'm raving about it, and again, I don't want to come across like I'm suggesting this is going to change your life or anything, but I would say if you want to get on board with a band who seem to be going somewhere, they're probably going to break up now I've said this, but if you want to get on board with a band who seem to have a future, for me, this is the sort of band that has a future. I can imagine, I would be very surprised by any record company overlooking them. I don't know who they're with at the moment. Whoever they're with needs to give them more publicity. This is a bit, although, you know, don't take that as an insult if you're going to employ me. But this is a band who I really think have a lot of potential, and I definitely would say get behind them, give them some support, listen to them, and I'm hoping that they release more music that lives up to this sort of ability to do something with a distinct sound and yet be catchy and accessible. I'm looking forward to hearing more of Gambit. Great start. Those are my thoughts. Get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao ciao. I'm going to go get me a job.